So, I don't know how to start this. Agriculture is a powerhouse, we all agree. I think everyone in this room agrees on this. There's many sectors in agriculture, and agriculture markets go up and down, and we are on the cusp of a downward trend on the grain side. I think
On the what side?
on grains, cash crop and grains, we are on the cusp of a downward. And how John Deere's laying off people, Case IH is laying off people. This is not going to be a surprise when major equipment companies see that people are buying less. So, and we all remember the last time, if it gets as bad as it did, when crop prices went down and the problems that farmers faced. And when we all know that when farmers face economic hardship, it's not just farmers, right? One thing farmers are really good at is they usually don't they usually don't invest their money in the Cayman Islands. Like, it goes throughout the community. We all agree on that,
agree.
And we have a pretty good system in Ontario, the risk management system. And I don't see, we've been pushing for an increase in risk management funding for a long time. I don't see an increase in estimates. I understand that. But are you considering putting forward a proposal to Cabinet to increase funding for risk management, knowing that the grain sector is about, hopefully it doesn't, and they've gone through, let's be really frank with each other, they've gone through a few really good years, right? Now, prices, because of Ukraine, because of COVID, because prices have been unprecedented. Costs have been unprecedented too, right? Like the price of everything has gone through the roof. But now, the price of commodities is falling back to where it was before in many cases. We haven't hit it yet, right? Because those crops are coming off, they're going into the bins now. But we could hit it. And we know this. And I'm sure you know it too. Like, we know this. So are you considering, will you consider increase to the risk management program to hopefully it doesn't happen. And if it doesn't, if prices come back up, you won't need the money. But if prices don't, there's going to be a lot of anguish in the country, in rural Ontario. Will you consider?
Well, thank you for the question, I guess, and I'll begin, because you and I are kind of the same generation. Through our careers, we've seen commodity prices go up and down. It's like, I always say, if you're going to get a job in agribusiness, it's like a roller coaster. Strap on, because you know there's going to be the ups and downs, because when you're at the high, never get too excited, because when you're at the low, you know it's going to come back. That being said, and I think you know this, in Canada, we have a suite of risk management tools, business risk management, that we work with the federal government on through ASCAP. We also have a unique program called risk management in Ontario, much like ASRA in Quebec, but it's unique in Canada. And it's a great program. It's been a great program. And I think you also know that in 2020, I believe, Minister, we increased the funding for risk management program from $100 to $150 million. And it's worked. And I believe I'm right, in 2021, under your leadership, we enhanced each commodity for a holdover or a rollover, so they could, and I believe grain took advantage of that last year in a big way. It worked. It shows that it works. But not only is it a risk insurance tool, it also helps us remain competitive, especially, I might add, in the grain and oilseed sector, because with that, we have to compete with the United States as well. So, to answer your question, we are constantly looking at the entire suite of risk management tools that we have in the province, and we meet with our stakeholders. I've met, I think, with every major stakeholder thus far, and we're talking at all times about the opportunity we can to increase it, especially with grain and oilseed. in the province. So we are constantly in dialogue and looking at all opportunities.
Thank you
all
very much.
opportunities to grow.
I agree with you, everything you said. It's a great program. That's why I also had a meeting in the back of the grain farmers pickup truck at the IPM with the whole grain farmers board. And when I asked them, what's the first thing you want me to ask the minister? And risk management was the first thing.
Oh, I've heard it.
Yeah, no, so you have our support in trying to get that.
But it's also for hogs, for beef, for veal.
I get it, but
The
right now
non-supplement.
beef is still,
Beef's pretty good.
beef is up here, right? But we can predict that something is going to happen. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Minister.